Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to today's session. My name is Muraro Nemataeni, and I am so excited to be having this session with you today. And before we even get to the book of this month, I just want us to do introductions. Take this as your 30 seconds speech in terms of who you are, what you do, what you're famous for, and if you've got any exciting news that you would like to share with us, feel free to share with us so that we can celebrate you. But in brief, Empowered Women is a registered nonprofit organization. We are based in Moraga Village, Thohoyandou, Limpopo, South Africa, and we've got members in South Africa. We've got members outside of South Africa. We are actually international, global. People join in from different parts of the world. And today we are so excited to be doing this work and just excited to come together as women to talk about issues that concern us. Most people that know me, they know that when we are having our review session, we start exactly on time because it's one of the things that we are practicing and winning at as women. So if anyone is ready to introduce themselves, please indicate either by a show of hand or you can write on the chat that you are ready. But for me, my brief intro is I'm Mulalo. I'm based in Thohoyandou in Limpopo. I'm a certified financial planner by profession. And what I do is I teach financial literacy and also run Empowered Women Book Club. And an exciting thing that I would like to share is that I'm currently in the US in Michigan State University. 5 weeks later, so one more week to go. It's a 6 weeks leadership program for young African leaders. It's called Mandela Washington Fellowship. We shared this last year, August, September, to say apply, apply, apply. So I was selected and I'm attending this. And in our institute, we've got 23 fellows from 20 African countries. So the connection and the engagement with other leaders from across the continent is phenomenal. And that is one thing I would like to share. Anyone else who is ready to introduce themselves, you're most welcome to unmute or to indicate by a show of hand or to share on the chat if you're unable to speak. But over to you.
Hi everybody.
Hi, Juliet.
Yes, I'm Julia Gibbs Bertolino. I'm based in Milan. And I always look forward to this. I've had challenges with actually purchasing the books for this season. Anyway, that's not part of my introduction. um, I love women empowerment. I have an organization in Uganda that empowers women, so I'm a women empowerment enthusiast. One of the highlights, the exciting things that I would like to share is after a while, I'm also into financial services, consultancy. After so many years of like not actually operating in line with financial services, I recently got a consultancy with a South African-based organization. And I'm concluding on the assignment, and I'm so excited. And the other highlight is I have an organization in Uganda, and like I've been working on linking women grown coffee to the international market, Italy being the main buyer of Ugandan coffee. And my major challenge was raising capital. Like it's huge to just have a container shipped. And on Thursday, I just made a random call to somebody, and the next day he said, "Juliet, we have the money for you." And I'm like, you're talking about this, like hundreds of thousands of dollars that somebody would just have to ask for lots of, requirements. I was talking to investors and like somebody's like, bring this, bring that, audited reports. And like this person was just like, we have trade financing for you. And like I was blown up. I was like, okay. Sometimes we just have to work on things and just trust God and believe and do our part and let what we cannot be, what we can't do to God to do it. And yeah, so I'm excited about this.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, Juliet, for sharing. And I love how in your intro, you also reminded us that sometimes we just have to ask. And we need to also ask each other in this group. One thing that I'm so proud of in this network is the quality of women that are part of this network. Even when I sit here, I'm like, oh my word, how did we manage to get people like all of you in this room? I see there's a chat there from Lina from Windhoek, Namibia. As usual, excited to be here. Welcome, welcome. Um, Namibia is one of our favorite countries. It makes us all like aspire to be presidents. And then we've got an intro on the chat. I just want to see by the show of hand or if you're unmute so that we can allow you to introduce yourselves. Um, and then there is Wendy Selebi, who is our person for today. She wrote on the chat that she's an author, coach, and financial literacy expert. So she's excited to be joining us tonight to review her book. Over to you, Refilwe, and when Refilwe, you're done, Busisekile, you're next.
Good evening, ladies. Sorry, I was trying to unmute there. My name is Refilo Mangale. I am a seasoned HR practitioner with over 15 years experience in the mining industry. I'm also an author and a career and life coach. I am looking forward to reviewing this book of Wendy Selebi today. I met her sometime last year and I was very excited when I saw her name popping on my reminders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Busekile.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Busisegile Kumalo. Unfortunately, I am not looking presentable right now at all, so I will not be turning
As
on my
always,
video.
Busekile. As always.
Okay, let me, but okay, it's fine. Hi, everyone. So my name is Segile Kumalo. I am a best-selling author of The Harvard Wife, Noma Swazi, and eight other titles. I'm currently working on my 11th title, and I am looking to expand to an international best-selling author. It's a pleasure to be a part of you queens. And I've learned so much through this group, and I cannot wait for today's session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Busekile. There's two more intros on the chat. If there's someone that would like to do the intro in person, I think we can take one more, and then we will hand over to Wendy so that she take us through her book. But on the chat, I see an intro from Mariam Famadi, the marriage coach, author, herbalist and bookseller. She's written amazing books, and we are so honored to have her in our book club. There's also Glenda Pitswane. Um, Glenda has another one. There's two of them, twins from last week. So welcome and thank you for joining us once again today. She's in the financial services industry, excited to be here and looking forward to the book review. Glenda says, I'm an aspiring author to be on page 42 of my manuscript. And that is exciting. We had there was another one that texted me this week. 3 people in the past 2 weeks that publish their books and then by using each other in this particular platform. So that page 42, very soon you'll be done. Just reach out and then send a message on the group if you need any assistance or people to walk this journey with you. I see there's Busi Siwengwenya. She's an author, health and wellness coordinator, events coordinator, Excellency Growth Club, and book books club member. I know it's not singular, your membership in book clubs. And I say you can never be in so many book clubs, guys. There is no limit. I got invited to even an Africa's Reader book club meeting every Thursday. That's at Domeleng. Bloemfontein for you. So please join as many book clubs as you can, read as much as you can. And the most important thing is please apply the learnings from what you are reading. Lastly, we've got Bopatwani Mugibi, an attorney, farmer, author, and entrepreneur. And I'm happy to be part of this group, learning a lot since I joined. I was looking forward to that author because she's one of the ladies that we are celebrating always. And she wrote a book, which all of you, mid-August, all roads lead to Polokwane for her book launch. So, ladies, thank you so much for being part of this network. Wendy, oh, there's another one. Okay, let me read this last one and then I'll hand over to Wendy. There is Wendy from Pretoria, an HR specialist and part of Visionary Readers Book Club and Toastmaster Club. It's my first time in this group. Thanks, Refilo, for the invitation. Thank you, Wendy Mashilwane, for joining us. We love Toastmasters. We do Toastmasters with Mama Khadi Honodi, Breaking Barriers, so we love it. And I'm sure I've been to your Visionary Readers Book Club because that's where it all starts. And then there's Tembega Semane, an aspiring author, first time here. Welcome, welcome. Wendy, over to you. Here we are as women of ImPower'd Women Book Club. I know some haven't bought the book, some have bought the book but haven't read. So even as you take us through this book, entice us, remind us of the need to buy the book. And I always say when we have these engagements, please do not shy away from selling yourself. I know you're doing amazing work. This women, after this session, I'm like, everyone, text your HR, text your people that they need Wendy. It's almost Women's Month. It's almost December when we do those year ends. You can even say, hey, let's buy our staff member books. Let's take them through this journey. Let's invite her to come and speak. Let's invite her to do this and that, but depending on how she will sell herself. So over to you, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Mulalo, for that warm introduction. I think just for the purposes of you seeing what I look like, that I'm indeed this person. After a while, I'll switch off my camera. But I'm excited to be here. And thank you, ladies, all of you, for joining in. And Refilwe, thank you so much for coming back again. So by form of introduction, as it has been said, I'm Wendy Selebi, and I have refired into a new life. 3 years ago, I retired. I didn't retire, I refired from Nedbank, where I had been working as a banking professional for 37 years in the retail banking space. And while I was working in the retail banking space, when the FSCA, promulgated the law that all banks must educate people who have been previously excluded, as part of the financial inclusion, journey. Then Nedbank chose the Eastern Cape as a focus area, and they made me the head of consumer financial education. And at the time, we were in partnership with Wiphold, Old Mutual, and Mutual and Federal. So all of us went to the Eastern Cape, and we literally were there to educate, but also to transform the lives of the communities. As you would know, Gloria Sirobe comes from Kentani in the Eastern Cape. So we literally started working from Ekua right up to I just forgot now but we went right up to Matatiele, and we spend a lot of time working in the villages with the communities. And for me, it was really, really an empowering a time that I value so much, because I got to work, with people who have never heard of banking, who don't even know what a bank looks like. And we had to teach them, to empower them, and then open branches and then take them through that journey as part of financial inclusion. And so that's where my education love and journey started. So I spent those 6 years working in the Eastern Cape. Then after that, we worked in the villages, Engobo, Wavecrest. I mean, and I happened to have gone to school in Matatiele anyway, at Maria Zell boarding school. So we went there, we worked in Kentani, in Ngamakwe. We worked in places I never knew existed, and it was the most empowering time. So after that, I came back, and they then appointed me as the head of the staff banking at Nedbank, processing applications of all the Nedbank staff. And that's where I think my love also grew for financial literacy, because as I was engaging with the staff members, I picked up a lot of financial literacy gaps, and I realized that when we are born with the ability already. It's the innate ability that's in us to walk, to run, to talk, to do all the things that we do. But when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, we are not born with that skill. It's a skill that we need to learn. It's a skill that we need to apply prudently to our finances so that we can become empowered. So when I left the bank 3 years ago, I had already in my mind, and through my interactions with people in executive positions at executive levels and at the lowest levels, identified the gaps that were there in financial education or financial literacy. But what was interesting was that I found that people don't like talking about money. I do a lot of talks on money. And every time they introduce me and they say, Wendy is now going to talk about money, people fold their arms and their facial expressions change. And I can tell that they're saying, you think you're going to get into our personal spaces? Well, well, well. And I learned to really then talk about myself. And that is what led to me writing this book, I Wish Someone Had Told Me, which is Money Wisdom Nuggets to 10 Major Financial Mistakes into Golden Money Milestones. So it's really an empowering guide that helps you to acknowledge your financial mistakes. So in this book, I chronicle my financial mistakes despite working for a financial institution for 37 years, to prove the point that financial skills or financial competency is a skill that you have to learn. And so I talk about my financial mistakes and how, if you acknowledge yours, they can pave the way to golden money milestone. So it's really about that, to say, let's not be embarrassed about embracing our shortcomings. I mean, we make mistakes every day, but what is critical is that we cultivate the courage and unleash the power of discipline in our path to financial freedom. You will agree with me that all of us want to be financially free. I mean, in my stage of life right now, as I've said, I'm retired, but I'm not retired, I've refired. But basically, what is happening is that I mean, there's no more income coming in, and it's a new life. It's a new experience. It's something that I never anticipated. As much as I was looking forward to retirement, wow, it's something totally different. So, through the insightful wisdom nuggets that I share, this book illuminates the importance of understanding your money beliefs and behaviors. One of the big things that limit us in achieving our financial goals, our financial freedom, is our limiting money beliefs. We have these beliefs that we have. As you would know, when people misquote the scripture, they say money is the root of all evil. But that's not what it is. It is the excessive love of money that will make you do unscrupulous things. That is the root of evil. Money is a commodity that we all need. So, there are those money beliefs that we have that then become our behaviors. And sometimes they are the ones that impede us from achieving a financial freedom. So really, I share keys that will help you to financial success. And I focus a lot on financial vision, financial purpose, and your financial why. As you know, that Simon Sinek loves talking about that why that is at the center of the core of everything we do. I talk a lot about how without a why, WHY, my daughter always likes to correct me because she's gone to these Model C schools and I've gone to Bantu education. So I always say why. She says, no, it's not why, it's why. So I really focus on that WHY, the why, because if you can answer why you are working, why you are earning that money, and after your payday, 5 days later, you are counting days to the next payday because you've overspent. If you can identify what your why is, then it leads you to your vision. And as you would know, vision is a picture of a preferred future where you're acknowledging that financially, where I am right now, I'm not in a space where I want to be. But I've got a vision of where I want to go. And once you have that, it gives you a purpose, a financial purpose. And purpose, really defined, is the reason why something is being done. So once you can answer your financial why, you write it down, and then you get your vision and your purpose. And then that leads you to then having goals. And I always say that, you talk about these smart goals, but if you write those goals without a why, without a vision, and without a purpose, they are just goals that you've written on a piece of paper. So unpack those to say, you know what, you must have these audacious goals, that drive you, financial goals that drive you. And once you have written down these goals, you've of course break them down into the SMART goals. And what they do is they keep you, centered. They become your financial compass. So those are some of the things that I talk about. And I use an analogy that I really love about race horses in the book, that talks about our individual financial vision and why it's important we must have it. Allow me, to just use this illustration. If you look at race horses, I spoke to a jockey, a guy who is a jockey at the race horses, and I asked him, why do you put blinkers on the horses? And he explained to me that horses have got peripheral vision. So they can see on the side, and sometimes they can see on the back, and the reflections and the light and the activity often makes them to be distracted. So then they made these blinkers so that the horse can focus on where it's going without any distraction. And of course, if you look at them, if you look at the Durban July, if you're someone that goes there or watches race horsing, you'll see that on race day, they bring the horses and they put them in turnstiles. And these turnstiles have got blinkers and they've got blinkers on. So they give them double blinkers because they want the horses to focus on the mark. When the gun or whatever goes, to indicate that the race has commenced, all the horses bolt out and they all go towards the mark. Each horse is not worried about what their neighbor is doing. They're focused. You'll never see a horse looking at their neighbor. Oh, what kind of hooves are they wearing? Oh, no, they all bolt and they stop once they achieve their goal. And I use this as to say when you have a vision for your finances that is aligned to your own context, your own background, your own, financial obligations, then you need to put double blinkers so that when you embark on this goal, your purpose, your goals, your vision, they become your North Star. They become your compass. So you don't worry about what your neighbor is doing, which is one of the things that derails us a lot. We find ourselves in financial challenges because I'm competing with Mulalo. I want to compete with Milan, but I don't know what is their context, family context. I don't know what start they have had. So I'm trying to compete with them because I look at them and I size them up. And this is one of the things that we like doing as women, sizing each other up. Urai, Wendy, if Wendy can buy this car, I mean, I know where she comes from. She can't ampale, and then we get ourselves, yes, and then we get ourselves into unnecessary debt because we are trying to run someone else's financial race. So those are some of the things that I talk about in the book. And in the first chapter, I really focus a lot on the power of words. Because I have seeds. Every chapter starts with a seed, and I talk about that words have power. Use them to speak things into being. And I narrate a story about how my dad used to amplify everything that I had. My dad motivated me and inspired me to want to achieve a lot. For example, if I bought a two-bedroomed house, when I came in and my dad was sitting with his friends, he would introduce me and would say, "This is my daughter. She lives in a mansion." And I'd look at him and I'm thinking, "But I live in a two-bedroomed house. Where is the mansion?" And then all his friends would be like, "Wow, George Machene's child lives in a mansion." And I would be embarrassed. I worked at the bank when I was still working at the bank, but when I was a teller. When I walked in, my dad would say to his friends, "My daughter is a manager, and where she works, Luna, who have shops here in Deep Kloof, she can repossess your houses and resell them to you." Thinking, what is he talking about? And so he would do that, and those words lodged in my subconscious mind. And when I started working, I was not aware that I was living out my father's words. My father would tell me that there is no car but a Mercedes. I never want to see you in anything but a Mercedes. And so when I started working, that's all that I wanted. But I was not aware that it was the words that my dad had spoken over me. And these words propelled me, to go for the things that he had spoken. But in doing that, I did not have a solid financial plan. And of course, I found myself in highly indebted, even though I worked for a bank. And actually, I want to say to you that when you work for a financial institution, it's so easy for you to access credit because even before the NCA, it was so easy for us. We get everything at preferential rates at less 2.5%. I mean, we used to pay nothing for our cars, our homes, and so, our credit cards. And so credit was available. And so we would get into it and take it and use it without understanding. And so I'll put it to you, ladies, that, financial uh, literacy is about acquiring the skills and the knowledge of how to manage your finances and understanding the consequences of the financial decisions that you make. So that's my chapter 1. And really the second chapter talks about what I've just said. And then I also talk about money as a game changer. And I look at a little bit of behavioral science, where it talks about how, some of our behaviors are the ones that impede us, from achieving our goals, our emotions. Of course, when we deal with money, we deal with emotions, but we need to be sure about which emotions are driving us. And then I also look at our money personalities. Wow, there's 8 of them that Nedbank designed. I share some of the money personalities. And these personalities, if you were to take the quiz, they are spot on. You will be shook at your money personality and why you do the things that you do with your money. And what the money personalities discussion does is to help you to put strategies in place to counter those personalities. And then, of course, in chapter 3, I talk about seeing with the heart. And that's where I talk about, the vision and so on. And then I talk about life stages in the next chapter. The chapter where I talk about the importance of us making sure that we are making the right financial decisions from the beginning, the age life stage when you are still a child. I introduce the importance of parents, grandparents teaching their children in their own language and understanding the power of saving and investing, which is something they grow up with when they go to tertiary, when they get their NFSAS, I always get it wrong. When they get their stipends, they are already, it's already been inculcated in them how to use the money. And so as you navigate every life stage, you are gradually increasing your savings and investment journey. And it is possible. So I share about that in the book. And then, the chapter that I like is entitled Credit. Is it a friend or is it an enemy? And I dig deeper and I talk about me. Every chapter, I share my mistakes about credit. That at one stage, I had 4 credit cards. And, I didn't understand that when they give you a credit card and they say this is your credit limit. I thought it's a target. So I would go out there, and many of us do that. We rush. By say my credit limit is 150,000, and you go crazy and you are in the malls running amok to get to 150,000. They're just saying if things get wrong or get bad, there's 150,000 that can take you out of a pickling situation. So I share what credit is and how, when you have too much access to credit and you don't know how to manage it, you can have what I call credit gluttony. Because a glutton is somebody that has got this appetite. That's insatiable. I would like using this example, and I'm sure some of you will agree with me. When you're at home and there's a loaf of bread, and then you take peanut butter and you take jam and you take butter. You take two slices, you put your butter, you put your jam and your peanut butter, but thick. And and even when you bite into it, hey man, those flavors in your mouth, and you eat that bread. And then as soon as you are done, then your body says, man, let's have two more. It was so nice. And you go for the next two. And before you know it, you finish the loaf. And that's what credit does. It is so, it invites you, because now you've got this credit card, you've splashed 150 here, and then they write to you and say, Wendy, we love you. You're such a good person. We at this bank X would like to give you, we see you've already used your 150. We'd like to up it and give you 200. And you're like, wow, hey, I'm this big thing. They're even giving me 200. Woo-wee, let's go for it. And so you go and you get more credit. And the more you get into credit, the more you are getting into the debt trap. And then the next chapter, I don't know what chapter is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chapter 7. I talk about stretching the rands and the cents. And here, the message that I'm driving is that it's not about how much you earn. It's about the prudence that you apply to your finances. I can earn 10,000. Another person can earn 100,000, another 1 million. If the person that earns 1 million does not know how to manage their rands and cents, they will always be on a minus. And the person that earns 10,000, if they know how to manage those rands and cents, they will always outsmart them, because they apply the financial principles. I share them in there. I share the 70-10-10-10 principle, which is how you can actually take your income. Our incomes are 100%. So you break it into 10-10-10. The 10%, say 3, and 70%. The first 10% is the 10% if you are a believer like me that you give. Even if you are not a believer, there's a principle of reciprocation that says, blessed is the hand that gives than the one that receives. There are so many people out there that need money, that are poor, that can benefit from your 10%. That you too. That's the first 10%. The second 10%, you use it in what I call active income. As the English word says, active, you are actively involved in making sure that you grow that 10%. You can invest it. You go to the banks, you ask them, what do you have? What does your money market have? What does your 32 days? What does your tax free have? And so you actively take that 10% and you invest it. Or you can even take that 10% and maybe go and study, and use it to further your studies. Instead of you being upset with your company that they don't want to give you a bursary to go and do your MBA, you can use that 10% to do that for yourself. Or if you've got an entrepreneurial spirit, you can use that 10% to start something. And as you make money, you invest it. And then you will benefit from the power of compounding interest. And then the third 10%, you plow it in what I call passive income. This is where you take the 10%, you give it to the experts to invest it on your behalf. They can do it in ETFs, they can do it in unit trusts, they can do it in bonds, they can do it. I mean, they compete. These investment houses, your Nedbank, your I always forget their names. Them, They always compete. And so when you give them their money, you know that they're going to make sure that they double it and quadruple it. Or you can even purchase shares for yourself. I always say to people, if you work for an organization and they're listed on the JSE and you don't have their shares, you have not bought their shares and they're not part of your portfolio, it means you don't have faith in your own organization. When I worked at Nedbank, I used to have Nedbank shares. I still have them. And when I went to work, I went with a different attitude. When I walked in at the head office at 135, I didn't just walk in as the Aramis Capsule who's come to work here for Mike Brown and make him rich. No, I walked in as an employee, but I also walked in as a shareholder. I understood that every day when I exert myself and I exceed everything that I'm doing, the company is going to pay us dividends. I'm going to benefit. So I want to encourage you, ladies, those of you, and I'm sure most of us, we buy at Woolies. You have no reason why you don't have Woolworths shares. You buy at Spar. You have no reason. So buy shares. You use that 10% for that. And then you can live on the 70%. You can do everything else, go 70%. Of course, you can play around with the 7, 10, 10, 10 to make it more um according to your finances. And then the next chapter, it talks about microwave wealth creation, easy come, easy go. And in this chapter, I'm just talking about how I lost a lot of money investing in things I didn't understand, like crypto. We all love, we hear that thing crypto, and then they have these meetings and they call you in, and you have these people, they show you these finances that have been cooked up, and then they show, and they have these people that give testimonials. You don't even know what a crypto is. You've never even, you don't even understand. I'm a baby boomer. We don't understand. We want to see money. Now they're talking about money that's somewhere in the cloud that you can't see. Mara, this money is supposed to make you rich. And then you fall into this thing, you invest, and before you know it, you've lost all your money. All because we want easy money. We want to microwave success. And this is one of the things that's killing our young people out there. They look at us. I'm 63. I've been working my whole life. The things that I have, I've acquired over 63 years. They look at me and they think, no, Lina, I want to be like her. And then they want to go for those things. So that's what I talk about. And then the next chapter, I talk about investing 101, really share some strategies of where you can invest your money. And then the next chapter, I talk about purchasing my first asset, the drama. When I bought my first home, it was disastrous. And when I bought my car, what a mess. And yet I was working at the bank. I mean, it was a complete disaster. And, I was saved by the fact that the people that were assisting me were afraid of the bank because I threatened them that if they don't give me what I want, then the bank will take them off from being, the builders, the preferred builders. So I talk about those. And then I talk about avoiding the debt trap, as I've already spoken about. And the last chapter, I really challenge myself and you to say, where are your finances? Are they languishing or are they flourishing? Are your finances in ICU? Do they need constant care? Do they need drips? Do they need a nurse that is literally standing there to monitor that your heart rate does not go and you die? Or are your finances flourishing? And so that's the book, ladies, in a nutshell. Ooh, I've spoken a lot, but that's basically what the book is about.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Oh my goodness. I was sitting here going like, go, 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 keep on going. And I see the reactions, the chats as well. A friend of mine just texted to say, hey, I buy this type of books and read them. So these are the types of books that we want to read because we want books that will assist us move forward as women. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Ladies, she is here. Anyone else that would like to come in, comment, ask a question, or anything, you're welcome to unmute. You're welcome to type on the chat. Let's get the conversation going.
Sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Wendy. It's Wendy.
Hi, Biso.
Visa. Visa.
Yeah.
I just want to check something. There's something I always think about, which I battle with sometimes. The concept of over insuring. I
Mm,
don't know if you talk to that in the book, because you need a car insurance, you need
mm,
a house insurance, you need life insurance covers.
mm,
Um, is there a point where you feel like you are over insured? Because I feel like sometimes if I look at my spending or my
mm,
budget, I realize quite a big sum of my what is it, net, goes to my insurances, like quite
mm,
a huge number, which when I go through all of them, they seem important, but I never always know, because you need to balance also not over insuring yourself and living on
mm,
faith that nothing all bad will always happen to you. Like, for example, I have this, what do you call it, an income continuation benefit, I think, with
mm,
Discovery, and it's like lots of money that I pay every month. And sometimes I wonder, yes, I've got a life cover, I've got disability, I've got illness. Do I need to even get things like that? Because now it's like you're over insuring. And I feel that's also one of the other things that takes out our money. And then you are not able to maybe invest it in, for example, that passive income we spoke about, or the active income, because now you are paying all these day-to-day costs. And so, yeah, just maybe in short, do you talk to insurances, over insuring? And yeah, any tips around there?
yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
Wendy. This is Wendy.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So when actually in the book, I didn't touch on insurance, which is actually something. Yeah, I didn't touch on insurance, but yeah, sometimes I think we do over insure. I mean, I've worked in with other people in other professions, teachers, nurses, and most of the time, when you look at their pay slip, they have the same insurance, because what these people that sell insurance do, they've got targets. They then sell you, and you don't even understand what you are buying, and so it's just
Mm,
an
mm,
insurance, and you're buying, and then before you know it, you've got so many um insurances that you're paying, and it's the same thing. By the
mm,
way, when it comes to life, you can only insure yourself or anyone up to 100,000. They will pay up to 100,000. So if you have 8 insurances, maybe for a particular person, only 80, more or less 70, they are not going to pay you all that money. They're literally just
mm,
going to pay you up to 100,000. So it's so important that I always advise that we should sit with, maybe a certified financial planner like Mulalo. Let them go through what you have and let them assess, gore, but do you really need all of these things? You could literally have one that covers most of what you want, and you probably pay a certain amount, and then you cancel the others. When I was working, and I think one of the mistakes that we make is that when we are employed, we
mm,
don't really check our pay slips. It's these deductions, the money is going out, they make you pay this life cover, but it will pay you 7 times and whatever. You are paying these exorbitant amounts, which is what I did. I paid them for 37 years. And when I was just
mm,
about to leave, when I looked at them, and they were saying, you have to continue paying this. post-retirement. How? Why is it not paying me off? No, no, no. You must continue. When I look at installment, it's about 3,500. I'm like, I can't afford that with the stipend that I'm going to be getting. So I canceled it. So it means
Mm.
for 37 years, I was paying into just an insurance I didn't even understand. So it's so critical that let's all sit with our financial advisors, Mulalo's here and others, the certified
Mm.
planners, not fly by night. Let them assess everything that you have. You'll be amazed at how much you'll save by getting rid of things that you don't need. I mean, I was shook when I was leaving and they said, now you need to choose a medical aid. And I was like, oh, okay, how much am I paying for medical aid? They're like, you're paying 12,000. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How am I going to be able to afford? And I wasn't even using this medical aid. So it's so important that you really must, now that you feel this way, Wendy, please sit
Mm.
with someone who can go through everything that you have. Make sure that you're not double paying for things you shouldn't.
Yes, yes. Okay, no,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. I will do so. Thank you so much.
sure.
And thanks, Mulalo. I know, yeah, this is not a financial planning class, but yeah, thank you so much just for that bit of info. I saw her note.
What did she
Thanks.
say?
It's the disclaimer that we always saying, Wendy.
Okay.
To say this is purely for financial education, literacy purposes,
Yes, yes.
and those
And
that
that's why I'm
need
saying
financial
they have
advice,
to,
they must speak to an
yeah,
advisor. And
yeah,
ladies,
I'm not
you all
giving
know I no
advice.
longer give financial advice, but we can link you up with people that will assist you and make
Awesome.
sure that you get the assistance that you need. I see Teho, you are unmuted, and I saw Mopo as
Yes.
well at some point, so you can.
Yo, am I audible? Hi, everyone.
Yes.
I
Hi.
can't say ladies only because I see the author of what is that book? That book.
Mlamli,
I don't,
the
Winning
money,
the money
I don't want to say the
game.
word. I see Mlamlis here.
Mlamli,
Yeah,
yes.
I am very. I don't know. You, Mama, I can listen to you speak. Like now, I'm very bad with money. When I have 1,000 rand, I give it to my husband, and I know that he'll do everything right. So I need to sort it out because because I'm raising kids and I need to tell them about it. I buy books. Like this book club makes you read books that you don't like to read. Like this one, I don't want to read this book because I know it will highlight me. So I'm reading all these books because I want to get to a part where you say you are financially okay or having success in your financial journey. So I'm starting. It took me a long time. I started
Mm,
with the debt to riches, whatever. Your book, Animal
mm,
Lemons book, is on the way, but I want to talk to my
mm,
heart and say this is the time to change. Yeah, and I
mm,
love these sessions because I also attend his sessions as well because he's talking people from outside of our country. Like the other time we were talking about the Kenyan people, so it was interesting. And even you, when you speak, you're so eloquent. I don't know if
mm.
you're a teacher. I know you were in a financial thing for like 37 years, but I'm saying you speak like you have trained to sit with people and tell them what to do. It's very easy to listen to you and your examples and stuff. So my question to you is that I once had issues with the funeral staff, and I read somewhere because I had to understand, and they were saying if I have 3 siblings and we all insure our mother or our father with maybe APSA and what, but they have the same, what do you call it? What do you call this thing? The people who pay you actually who checks if
Oh,
you
yes.
you you are, what is
Eh,
it?
kana ba bisa le nna ba mpalegela
Uh,
yaanong.
yeah,
Is it the under?
sorry, yes, underwriter. Yeah. So
Underwriter.
underwrite, yeah, underwrite take one. So if I put my mom for Camilla funeral service, funeral policy, got 50,000, and my sister got 100, Omonga 150. There's no way they're gonna give us the money. What's gonna happen is
Mm,
that they're gonna give us one. So these things people don't know until they have to bury and expect. Hore, we come together as siblings and say, okay, now I've got this policy. No, APSA, Bob and what they have the same underwrite. So Nigga would tell in the book, number two, how is it possible that we can get the information before we can even put a cent to say, okay, maybe we are three, let's talk about it, and then repatal one, because at the end of the day, one is going to be paid. Thank you. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, no, I don't talk about it in the book, because in the book, I really talk about the mistakes that I had made and actually forgot to add, something around insurance because I also made a lot of mistakes around that. And I only became aware when my dad passed away. And when he passed away, they actually refused to pay me out, the insurance companies. So I had to, get a personal loan to bury my father, yet I had this insurance. So yeah, I didn't mention it. I'm definitely going to mention it in book 2 because I have started writing book 2, which is on retirement. All of you are going to join me here. It's hectic. So my second book is on that. So yeah, no, I didn't. And you are right that they will pay up to 100,000 and not more. So let's make sure. This is one of the things that we did as a family. We literally had a meeting, all my cousins and everybody. We sat down and we asked when our like my mom-in-law, we all asked how much, who has insured her, how much have you insured her for? And then we took the money and we canceled, because we realized, Guti, we are just wasting money. So we took that money and we used it to do other things that will benefit her at a later stage. So it's quite critical that you have those conversations. And they are such difficult conversations because we're not used as especially, I'll put it in the Black community. We don't like talking about money because what I'm doing is my secret. It's my money. Why must I talk? Why must I tell my sister? Why must she know my things? But if we were to learn how to sit together and have these conversations, it helped us so much because all the grandchildren, all of them had policies almost 80, 50, whatever. And we realized, and what was quite interesting out of all of this is that my mom-in-law is a Muslim. So she does not even need all of these things. So then we had to do something different. So I'm just encouraging that let's have those conversations.
Thank you so much, Mobo.
I knew, Malalo, you're going to call my name. Gee, I'm
Obvious.
sitting here. I'm sitting here. I'm enjoying myself. I'm listening to us, Wendy. Wow, wow. Such nuggets of wisdom. You're so amazing. And I love the way she talks. It's like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my life story. How I wish we could all be that open, allow ourselves to be that transparent. Because in the process, a lot of people learn so much from us. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. I remember the other time we had this meeting, I said, people, even if you haven't read the book, please do attend. I haven't read the book, but I promise you, Malalo, please send me that book. I know you've got a library of books. I've got it's a must have. It's really a must have. As Wendy, thank you so much. But I think the most important thing is to put to practice what we are reading. It's one thing to read, it's one thing to listen to someone's life story and learn what they have done and want to get there. But actually doing it is a different story. But I'm hopeful that the way we are, so excited, so heated up from what you are sharing, certainly I'm going to put that into practice. Thank you so much. We are waiting for that second book.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mopo, for the encouragement.
Hello.
Hi, Juliet.
I'm Juliet here. I'm excited. Like every time we are talking about money, it's like Mlala, I think which year was it when we looked at a book that cautioned us about buying stuff. And every time up to now, I walk to a supermarket and or a shop, I'm buying, and like I find myself like my hand is going to stuff, and like that book comes to my mind. It's like, Juliet, are you buying stuff, or these are real needs that
Yeah.
like things that you must buy? So like you just mentioned something about what did you call it? Many times we use the phrase looking across your neighbor's compound.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
competition, the unnecessary competition. We grew up. I was doing a program with girls on women empowerment. I mean, girl child empowerment rather. And I remember, doing sessions with them as teenagers. We are talking to, young youth about peer pressure. But
Mm.
honestly speaking, among adults, peer pressure is real. Somebody's not buying a car because they need it, but they want to prove a point to the world.
Mm.
And like they always say, you're spending money you don't have to impress people who don't even care.
Yeah.
So like, ladies, someone is just going to make that hair just because someone else was, like, went for that, hairstyle. They are
Mm.
struggling to buy a certain shoe to prove a point. Like many times, even as adults, someone is actually embezzling funds just to put up a show, to prove a point to somebody that they also, can have a good house, they can, drive a certain kind of car. And I think that's why most of our governments have even had a lot of corruption, just because adults are competing. It's like, since I became an adult, I think I had not even lived in an environment where I would encounter somebody that actually openly tells me, oh, you see, like I encountered a crazy, American lady here in Milan, and like this lady from time to time, like trying to tell me, oh, you see, for me, I wear brands, and like all you have is made in China, and like really tell me which country on this planet is not, like selling stuff from China, and like how about if I'm happy with that, like, and this lady is so obsessed with that, and like I'm like, really, at this age, this is a 63-year-old woman, and you keep talking about, and like which brands is the person talking about? The person's talking about brands, but like she is actually failing to afford 3 meals. And you can imagine that you're failing to take good care of your body, but like you want to prove a point to people who don't even care that
Mm.
So it's very impressive. Like it's impressive to think about these things. Of course, I need to reflect back every moment on personal, even as I say this, are there moments when I've simply done stuff, spent money to prove a point. Of course, even when we are going for a party, you go to buy a certain dress so that you look
Mm-hmm.
smart, not for yourself, but for people to appreciate you. So, okay, how many times are we spending money we don't have? Or money that should have gone to other things, really, just to prove a point to people who don't care.
Mm.
Yeah, so I've been reminded about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Milan.
Hmm.
Ah, Juliet.
Over to you, Mlamuli. Thank you so much, Juliet. Something that you said we're buying this for other people, not for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Hey, hey, the truth in that.
Mm.
Mlamuli, over to you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I think the phrase she was looking for is keeping up with the Joneses.
Mm.
Yeah,
Or
that's
the
the
mambos.
I receive, I receive.
Ah.
Oh, May Wendy. Hello again, hello again.
Hello,
So
lovely.
For me, it's and I always share that I think one of the biggest challenges we have with finance is the fact that it's swept under the carpet. And I think when we get comfortable with putting it out in the open and bringing some light to it, we'll find that there's so many things we can do better. So your book is a living testimony of that and the courage that you have to actually just be that honest, especially as a banker, because there's an assumption that as a banker, you know that side of the world. So I try contribution of that honesty because I think in that honesty that allows many of us to be more honest as well. Do better. So for me, I highly recommend the book. Really, really, it's yes, it's her story, but she's put a mirror up, and I think all of us have made some of the mistakes that you mentioned, and some of them you're not quite aware or as seeing it as transparent as you put it, and then that actually then is the kick that you need to make a change. So thank you so much for your honesty, your transparency, and I think if we were to follow your lead on that, we would do a lot better.
Thank you, Mlamuli. And I just want to say that this young man has been a blessing in my life. He's opened so many doors for me. My book was read on SAFM because of him for a whole month. And I've been on 702 because of him. He's just been a blessing. So I think this platform is filled with people that are a true blessing. So yeah, thank you, Mlamli. And his book is also amazing. I give it away. I give my copy all the time because people just want it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Mlambli, for opening the doors. And how I
Mm,
met Mlambli, it was JCI. I think
mm,
oh no,
yeah.
Mail and Guardian Top 200. And then when I
Mm,
checked who are the other people, it was him. And then from his email signature, JCI, and then getting honored as one of the top 10 young South Africans who are doing amazing work. And I can say that even for me, the work that you do has inspired me, and I have so many awards next to my name because I
mm,
saw someone who's doing similar
mm,
work who has those awards
mm,
open. And when we started, I mentioned to say, ladies, this is what we can do for one another. She spoke about opening
mm,
doors. You can open more doors for Wendy.
mm,
Women's Month is coming up. It's just a matter of reaching out and say, hey, we've got employees in our workplace. Maybe we can get a copy or two, or we've got like 20 people, 20 copies. It's not a lot. It's like
mm,
250 rand for a book. So if you can get that, sometimes it's when you sit in those meetings and then they say, let's do something for our staff members, and you say, hey, there's someone that I know who can come and speak to them about financial literacy, and then get them the books for Christmas. Companies do year-end functions, and sometimes you
mm,
get things that you can't even use. But now here's a resource that you can use to say, hey, let's get our people books so that they can read. Anyone else that would like to share, to reflect? Kanyo, I see you there. Metrai for Saramano, I see you there.
mm.
Joiki, I saw Winnie as well here. And I'm like, oh my word, where did we find all these people that are just making waves? Mpokunene. Oh my goodness, ladies, you are amazing. Please unmute, say something.
We are here, Mulalo. Thank you very
Mm,
much. Thank you, Wendy. even
Thank
as we make lots of mistakes on money. The minute we open our mouth, we'll be shocked. Drivers also made mistakes like this.
you.
I wish also we also had advice, even though we worked with money. We are very good at
Mm,
advising people what to do and what not to do, but we can't do it for ourselves. Thank you
mm,
very much for this. I will also get the details from Mulalo and invite you to my other sessions to
mm.
talk to my other groups. Thank you very much, Wendy. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Mama. Really honored to have you on. Thank you. Mulalo, thank you for this platform, really.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh,
Oh my, can you?
Yeah,
Mulalo,
mine,
I follow you.
uh,
I
yeah,
follow you.
mine is just a word of
Thank you.
appreciation. I haven't read the book, but I know obviously the book is available for sale. Obviously had an opportunity to join in and just listen to you, Sis Wendy, just go through just the nuggets of the book, highlighting, what's important. And I think it's a very, very important discussion that we should be having as not only just women, but as Black community, encouraging each other, empowering each other that we can also reach that financial freedom. And it doesn't, like you made that example of 10,000. You don't really need to have much as long as you're conscious in how you are spending your money. Because
yeah.
I mean, we have people who earn about 100,000, but they're not saving anything. And we have Ndate Mang Mang who's earning 10,000 and he's saving 5,000 into his retirement annuity, or he's buying shares or whatever, and he will gain that financial freedom better than Mr. Mang Mang, who's earning 100,000, who's not saving. So I
Mm,
really think that, what you've shared with us is just nuggets that are so important that when we do obviously spend our money, we should be reminded that, we owe it to ourselves to be better and build that financial freedom. And in whatever, I mean, financial freedom means different things to different people, so working towards what your goal is. I mean, it could be you want to get to 100,000, from 100,000, you want to get to 500,000 to 500,000. It's about, pacing yourself and working towards that and not keeping up with the Jones, like you're saying,
mm,
competing
mm,
with the neighbors, because we all have a different journey. My journey might be different, to Malalo's journey might be different, to Triforce's journey, but we all want to have that financial freedom. We don't want to be running to Bomashonisa, hiding and ducking, and
mm,
that old
mm,
lifestyle. No, we don't want that. And I think our grandmothers and our grandfathers, they, even though we didn't know if they had financial freedom, but they had what you call Boma stock fairly. So they were also working
mm,
towards something. So we should learn from those and live within our means. There's nothing wrong with when you finish paying your car and staying with the same car, as long as it's still drive and you are still able to move around, it's okay. No one is going to
mm,
judge you that you're still driving the same car, you still live in the same address, even though you're earning over 1 million rand. Just be happy and content with where you are, and just work towards your goal. And bit by bit, you will get to where you need to be. Thank you so much, Sis Wendy, for your time and for the words of nuggets that you shared. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You make me laugh because when I went on retirement, I went a year while we were still in COVID, and the interest rates were at their lowest. And as Nedbank staff, we could get our cars at 4%. And people were going out there and buying cars, and I was the only one who was not buying. And they were asking me, "What's wrong with you? You're actually going on retirement. Why don't you buy a car?" I said, "I can't buy a car because I'm leaving next year. I need to buy the car cash if I'm buying a car. And what's wrong with my car?" Like, I didn't understand why they were putting pressure on me to buy a car because I just love my car. And one of my friends said, this car doesn't even represent, the type of person that you are. I was like, I deal with it, lady. I'm not going to be put under pressure. And so we need to be careful not to be pushed by friends and family to buy cars and homes that they think we should have when they don't understand what our financial situations are. So thank you so much for that, Kanya.
Mpo, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mama Wendy. First of all, I'd like to thank our host for this beautiful engagement. It's my first time joining, and it's actually my first time even joining a book club. I'm an avid reader, but I'm a loner. So I really, really like, I feel so empowered. Ke feel nkare, I'm ready to conquer this week. I come from a bit of a creative background, so words speak volumes to me. And I just want to commend you, Mama Wendy. Yes, I haven't read the book, but I'm itching to get my hands on it. I want to commend you and say, Hore, thank you so much for making financial literacy simple. And when I say simple is because you gave the human context of it. The way you went through the chapters, it makes it a lot more relatable, you know? And I want to find a way for us, especially there's about 33, 35 people currently in the session, which is a master class. Let's assist each other in expanding. Let's get that voice that you have put into words to the rest of the women in South Africa, to the rest of the women in the African continent, to the rest of the world, because these are basics that we were not taught oskolong. And had it been this simple, I don't think a lot of us would have been in so much financial turmoil, because we were not taught montlung, bo mama le papa le bona ne ba sena the experience. But even from school, and I think Kanyo said it, it's like, yes, you can be sitting in you could be earning 1 million, but living koloksheni or in a township because of the bad financial choices. So I think I live by this motto, we rise by lifting each other. And there's such gems from your generation, the baby boomers. And I'm so hungry right now to want to get to know a lot more of what you went through and how you can equip us, and let it not just sit here. Yes, Molalo was right saying, Hore, let's bring it into the organization. So Lina, with the little organizations that I work with, I want to pull in with the platforms that I then have to go, okay, how do we do this? How do we make the circle bigger, as we say? So let's make the circle bigger. Let's get the word out there. It's such an important conversation. We can't be talking about the high unemployment rate in South Africa, but yet we don't even address the financial crisis that we are in, because a lot of the issues that we have is because people really did make bad financial choices. And then that adds into the crisis that we have in the country. So your book is very important. Your book is very relevant. Your book should be celebrated. This journey that you are willing to open and be personal about it. Thank you so much. And I really cannot wait for your flowers to be given publicly on a bigger scale. And let's just celebrate you and your journey and what you give. And thank you so much, Mama Wendy. Really appreciate it. This was very informative.
Thank you so much, Mpho. Yo, thank you. They say I'm getting emotional, but when you're over 60, you like crying. And I realize I love crying now. So, so I'm trying not to cry, but thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies. Mobo?
Oh, just to say thank you, but I think Mpho has actually done a great job. she has actually thanked me, Wendy. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone on the platform. It really is amazing. I actually wanted to ask Mlalo, have we changed the approach to the book reading? It is so amazing to actually hear the author saying, sharing with us, because they're able to cover everything. It's almost like I've read the book. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. The flowers she's talking about, while you're still alive, you really deserve that. It's amazing, the impact this has on us. It really is amazing. If you can go on and on, do this to other people, we are going to take it over. And especially the part you said, to teach our children, our grandchildren, to make them aware. Honestly, it's amazing what you have done for us. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Taking the time to be here, it really means a lot. We really appreciate it. Thank you, and all the best on that second book. We're hopeful to invite you again to hear you tell us the story, share with us what's on the second book. We can't wait. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mashudu?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Wendy. Wow, it was so great just to join this class.
Thank you, Mlalo. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, okay, I was just saying it is so great to join this session because I've been running the self-mastery membership, which is we're focusing on finance from within. And we're looking at the beliefs and the emotions which are around money, healing those. And I thought when I advertised, it will take a month. And we're going for our 4th month just working on those emotions. And when I came through and I was taken by the 10-10-10-70 principle, and I'm gonna make sure that everyone who attends those classes, they buy the book, because I'm an engineer. I remember where I used to work back in 2000. I used to be paid so much, and that money just disappeared because I didn't have the financial freedom. And I'm glad now we are changing the narratives and things will be better. And having you leading the way as well, coming from a finance, it just shows us all of us were human beings, but we still have got an opportunity to change. It doesn't matter how old you are. So we need to remove age, we need to remove the titles and say, yes, I need help, because all of us, we've got special talents, and it's important, as everyone is listening, we start using the services of those who are knowledgeable. It will help us to bridge the gap of where we're coming from in terms of our finances. And with that being said, also, I'm going to take the opportunity as a life coach. I'm running an event on the 9th of August. It will be in Naledi Farm, that is in Centurion. I don't know who lives there, so do join us on the 9th. It's a full day event. The theme is In Her Strength, She Rests. This has been a busy year. But there's an opportunity for you to rest and be empowered and be able to take those tools. Because the way I run my workshop is to make sure that it's not only about talk shop. You go with workbooks, you go and implement, and with that knowledge, you also transform other people. It's not only for your own knowledge. So if you don't have a date on those days, I encourage you to join us. So I'll be traveling from Richards Bay because I'm based in Richards Bay. So for the Gautengers, do join us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mashudu. Yeah, I picked on her. I sent her a DM. I was like, please speak and also tell them about the event. Ladies, she's been posting about this event on the groups. And I've said, we're having a conference in Thohoyandou in Limpopo on the 9th of August. I know some people in Gauteng, they are coming through. And then those that won't be able to come through in Thohoyandou, please do go to Centurion and attend Mashudo's event so that we support one another. I attended her retreat in 2022 March, and my life has never been the same. It was a self-love retreat, and the work that she does is amazing. And as I always say, please take advantage of this space that we've created. Sell yourself, share about what you do. When you introduce yourself, tell us what you need from this platform of women that are here to simply love on you, support you, and also make sure that you get the best that there is in life. With that said, thank you so much, Wendy. Our book for August, this is an exciting one, more especially when people say all these things about a mother-in-law. And when I was still in the corporate world, in the office, that staple remover, um, we used to call it a mother-in-law. And then we say it will sort you out. So if you're struggling with something that has been stapled, if you get the mother-in-law, it will come in and sort you out. And the stories that we hear, more especially with us Black women, it was like, your mother-in-laws are the worst. I remember when I was still younger, I was just like, yo, guys, I don't want all this to happen. And I even said one prayer to say, yo, na, angfuni mother-in-law. And unfortunately, when I got married, she had already passed on. But now when I reflect back, it would have been lovely to have someone in this journey. And we're having this book in August to celebrate women because this book celebrates women. And you know, we do the list in December, October, November, December. That's when we put together a list for the following year. So now it's called An Ode to My Mother-in-Law, Winnie Serobe. It's a book by Me Gloria Tomato Serobe. And I'll just read something here so that you know what you are in for. It says Gloria Tomato Serobe, Ninda Liso, married Girl Serobe in 1987 following a 6 months courtship. Yezum Jolo with Tefo. Yeah, she knows the session will not end without Mjolo. So following a 6 months courtship, and so began Gloria's 26-year relationship with her mother-in-law, Winnie Robe. Winnie Robe was born in Tabantu in 1933 in a deeply racialized South Africa. Yet she transcended all the barriers put in place by the South African government and society at large to become a nurse, midwife, community builder, social entrepreneur, and leader. In the course of her marriage to Andrew Sirobe for 40 years, during which they became parents to 5 children, she was never only a wife and a mother. This book is Gloria's order of love, honor, and respect to her mother-in-law, whom she referred to as Mama. It brings life it brings to life the story of Winnie Serobe, who we may not read about when we look at the heroes and heroine of this country, but who served those around her every day. She remains memorialized in the hearts and minds of those for whom she fought for the right to be educated, buried with dignity, and provided with the best quality health care, particularly for mothers and their unborn and newborn babies. Throughout her remarkable life, Winnie Robe saw, heard, and homed some of the most vulnerable, stigmatized, ostracized, and perhaps forgotten members of a community. Throughout this life well lived, she nurtured and mentored Gloria as a makoti of the Sirowe family. She reframed marriage, family, and service for the young Gloria, lessons which Gloria shares in the pages of this book. Gloria Tomato Sirowe is a founding member and CEO of Wiphold and a leading activist for community upliftment, the empowerment of women, and the sustainable transformation of the South African economic landscape. She has been recognized for her leadership in business and community activism with numerous awards and a number of honorary degrees. So this is what will be on your plate for the month of August. And I'm so excited. Our review will be the last Sunday of the month, which is the 31st of August. And unfortunately, I bought all the 4 copies of the book on Take a Lot. And Yeah, we might need a contact to make sure that the book is back on Take a Lot. I remember it was September 2023 when we read Lead Like a Woman, and then we bought all the books in Take a Lot and had to send them an email to say, hey, please organize to get more copies. So, but I'm sure we will get that sorted. I had me Wendy speaking about We Pulled when she was introducing herself and doing the work in the Eastern Cape. Meramano is here. I've also posted on Facebook to say, guys, please connect us with this woman because these are the names that we see in different platforms, different spaces. But now we have created a platform for us to come together as women to say, please take us through this journey. You had a mother-in-law that took you through this journey. You put it in writing, and we can't wait to celebrate the women in our lives, the women that shaped South Africa. And also, as we read the book or go through the month of August, please celebrate the women in your life. Every year, we post on socials to say we are celebrating women. I'm going to make a call in the next week to say, ladies, please share your profiles, share your photos so that we share on social media and also make sure that we celebrate you because for us, it's all about celebrating you as women. With that said, thank you so much, ladies. Any final words, May Wendy, as we close?
Well, my final word is just to say thank you so much. I'm reading the comments and yeah, I think I need a tissue, but thank you, thank you. I look forward to the next one when we read Metomato's book. We review her book and maybe let's see. I think Metrifosa might be able to get her to come, or we can make some means to contact her and get her to come and review it for us.
Thank you, ladies. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
Thank
night.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.